Manchild Show with Boy Green for another installment here. Happy Monday, everybody. It's our live show Mondays at 11. Don't forget, we're always live on Wednesdays as well at 11. And also Fridays with Joe Bartle, our fantasy insider, at 10:30. So that's our live schedule. We're dropping all kinds of really cool content this week. Again, very football focused. Jets, Giants, and Bills. We are the New York football show for sure. Please don't forget, like and subscribe. Our channel on YouTube is at MC Show Digital, and you can follow us on all our social media as well. We do it all: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're interactive in all those worlds as well. So please take the time to check us out and see if you like what we're delivering. And if you do, then come join the crowd, baby. It's the room is starting to fill, baby. It's starting to swell. And I still got a David Tyree autograph, The Catch framed photo sitting on my wall that's getting closer and closer to disappearing. I'm so sad. It's going to go off my wall and into someone else's man cave. But one of our first 300 subscribers will get that, and we only need about 70 or so more subscribers, and we will be at that number, and then we will pick from one of those 300. So if you're 301, baby, you're out. You're not in. It's going to come from one of those first 300. I'm going to be very, very strict about this. Being on the ground floor of the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. That's what we're looking for. And we got a great show for you today. Couple of cool things. Number one, we're going to break down the Snoopy Bowl, Giants and the Jets. Yes, bragging rights come to the Manchild today, unfortunately, for Boy Green. But we'll talk about pros and cons from both teams. And it's exhibition football. And I said it before the game, and I'd be saying the same thing if my Giants lost. The outcome doesn't matter so much. It's really what happens within the context of the game and how that team is getting itself ready for this season. So these games will all be wiped off the slate. I know the Giants are 2-0 in the preseason. Wow, let's be excited. I'm not excited about that. I'll be excited about the play of certain players, but I'm not going to be excited about that 2-0 record, which could by the end of it be 3-0. Who cares? It means nothing. I want the 2-0 and 3-0 when we get into the regular season. That's when it matters. But nonetheless, it was the Battle of New York, the Snoopy Bowl, and we'll get into it and break it all down. And then we've got a special guest joining us at about 11:20 today. We're going to talk some food, baby. Get you hungry for lunchtime. JJ from Smoky Bones will join us. Boy Green, you know that we're having our big Champs League in-person fantasy draft at the Smoky Bones location in Clay, New York, right on Route 31. It's going to be a blast, and we're looking forward to that. And JJ is going to tell us about all of the things that are going on at Smoky Bones, including you can get food catered by Smoky Bones for your wedding, for your party, for anything you've got going on, for your fantasy draft, for crying out loud. So think about it, our friends at Smoky Bones. Hey, there's the picture from last year's draft, as a matter of fact. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun. You and your Malik neighbors, LSU
right
jersey.
there over my shoulder, right there, same jersey.
Yeah, very nice. And then me and my 8 Aaron Rodgers jersey. I think your jersey still has some staying power right now. I'm not sure if Rodgers
yours doesn't. Mine does, yours doesn't. That's for sure. Get that one.
Do
you burn them, Boy Green? Like when they're no good, do you burn them, or you just storm in the back just in case?
You absolutely don't burn them. Anyone who does that is an idiot, a moron, and stupid. If you're buying jerseys, it's for the long haul. It's an investment. Right now, I'm going to be honest, Aaron Rodgers on the down low. Probably not going to be wearing that one very often. But, when Aaron Rodgers goes into the Hall of Fame, hey, Aaron Rodgers jersey. I remember that time. That could come back out. Who knows?
And by the way, going back to that picture for a second, some of these people in this picture will not be here at this year's fantasy draft. And that's because they were knocked out. They were in the bottom 3. My good pal Ryan Lee, furthest to the right in this picture. Love Ryan. He used to be our producer back in the day. Ryan, hopefully we'll see you next year. He's got to make his way back from the Chumps League.
0-12.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Poor Ryan, right? 0-12. 0-12. And hidden way back in the upper left is Jordan McGee. Jordan McGee is not returning this year as well. So there you go. So those two have been replaced by 2 newbies, and we'll have a new picture this year that'll include all of these people and 2 newbies as part of it. So that'll be fun. So again, in our fantasy leagues, and we have 4 of them, if you finish in the top 3, you move up. Of course, there's no way to move up. In the Champs League, you just stay in the Champs League. All right. But if you're in the Chumps League, you can move up to the Champs. If you're in the Triple C, you can move up to the Chumps. If you're in the Quad Cities, you can move up to the Triple C. So we have this 4-league stack, just kind of like minor league baseball almost.
Yeah.
And you move up if you finish in the top 3. You move down if you finish in the bottom 3. And
that's true.
Unfortunately, some people who were with us last year They won't be with us this year. It's so sad. They're going to miss out on all that fabulous barbecue from Smoky Bones. By the way, today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Smoky Bones up there in Clay on Route 31. Go check them out. Catering, wing specials. We'll talk to all of it about with JJ, who's the catering specialist and one of the best bartenders in all of Central New York, and I can vouch for that myself.
Ooh, and I will see this. I see John Smith saying Paul Boy, short Esden Jr. here. Now, it's hard to see with the chair. My knees are bent a little, okay? Yeah. There's a little bit of a lean.
Let's get at least another inch, you know?
Yeah, that's what I just want to clarify that. We're all sort of huddling up here, that there is some knee buckling going on here to try to get in the picture. Not necessary with how short I am, so I'm not really sure what the game plan was there. But yes, every photo, because Lerch, did you see the photo with me with Tanner Engstrand, Lerch?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So that went viral for all the wrong. I saw my phone blowing up and I said, oh, people are really enjoying that I'm here at Jets training camp. Oh, how lovely. This is nice. But instead, it was because, wow, is Paul that short or is Tanner Engstrand that tall? And I said, yes.
Both.
It's the
both.
Answer to the question.
Yes, that's a both is the answer to that question.
Yeah. Yeah. So every photo I've been taking now has received harsh criticism and for good reason. I am closer to the Earth's surface.
You know, you're just like a movie star, Paul. I mean, like everybody thinks, some of these guys are huge guys that just look larger than life on screen. And then you see him on a talk show or you see him on something and you're like, oh my goodness, he's tiny. Musicians very much known for that,
oh, really? Okay.
They look really big. And then you're like, whoa, stand next to him and you're like, holy crap, I'm 3 inches taller than that guy,
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's kind of one of those weird things where we make people on screen look larger than life and larger than they are, partly because a lot of times they're in a particular role. All right. And then we see them in real life. I'm like, oh my goodness, that guy's tiny.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty common. And so yeah, so you just have that attribute, that trait. That's okay.
But I'm sort of stuck with the height though. So like the height, I'm not going to get any taller. Now my goal now is not to get any wider. You know what I mean? So the height, it is
that you can do something about. That you can do something.
Don't want to get any wider, so we'll see.
As my old partner Bud would say, "Eat less, move more." There's the answer to your question right there.
Good phrase.
But yeah, and I mean, again, you could, Paul, if you wanted. Although Mickey from Seinfeld got in trouble for doing it, you could throw in the lifts. You lift yourself.
Sure. Right? And then it gives
Mickey
you
with the lifts. That was
I do. And then
Mickey was a little person in Seinfeld, and he put on the lifts because he was the kid and he was doubling for, was growing, and then he got caught by all the other little people, and it wasn't a good scene for Mickey. So maybe you're just best off being who you are and
just accepting it and moving on. That's probably for the best, Lerch. Probably for the best.
All right, let's talk a little Snoopy Bowl. It was exciting to say the least. Plenty of action for us Giant fans. Do you want to roll the video and see some Giant highlights before we get into a discussion about this? So,
let's get this.
Grab that video. But I grabbed the video. It's like a minute 30 or so of all Giants highlights. Sorry, all you Jets fans, but this Snoopy Bowl was mostly Giants highlights. And there were some good ones. We got offensive ones. We got defensive ones. We got all of our quarterbacks either throwing or running for a touchdown, or in some cases doing both. Okay, 2 of our quarterbacks both rushing and throwing for a touchdown. How about that? Our second and third stringers both rushing and throwing for a touchdown. Of course, Russell Wilson had that bomb.
80 yards.
80 yards. Got down to the 1. It didn't result in a touchdown.
Right. So. Right. So I'll give a quick salute to Andre Cisco.
I guess Russell didn't have a touchdown technically, right?
I guess that's true, right? Although, if you could have a touchdown or an 80-yarder, I'm sure that the choice would probably be the 80-yarder. So we'll play that here in just a second, the highlight package. The Giants ended up winning that game, by the way, 31-12. It was 7-6 at halftime. You're like, hey, not too shabby. And, it all sort of collapsed there for the New York Jets. So we'll give highlights on both sides here coming up. But I would say this, Lerch, because we'll also
get... You did post, so let's talk about it. I mean, are you down in the mouth about how the Jets performed? What did you even... were there some silver linings, dare I say? Because, again, results in preseason, not really the most important thing, or the scoreboard, I should say. But certainly, statistically, you'd like to see some things come into play.
Although, if you ask Abdul Carter, he says the preseason win was very important over the New York Jets. And he said that's más importante. That was numero uno on his bingo card. So, Abdul, appreciate that. But no, if we just look at raw stats, I mean, Justin Fields, who this entire season's about for the New York Jets, 1 for 5 for 4 passing yards and a rush for 5 yards, doesn't really get it done. Those raw numbers look bad. But if you squint, you say, hey, Justin Fields has appeared in 2 games for the 2 preseason games, 2 appearances. In game number 1 against Green Bay Packers, touchdown drive immediately, looked great. This second game, he punted after 5, 6, 7 plays, and then the second drive was a field goal. So 2 scoring drives in 2 weeks. Okay, that
Okay.
could be worse. That's a little
Mm-hmm.
encouraging. The thing that's discouraging, though, is in those 2 games, Justin Fields has targeted Garrett Wilson 4 times. They haven't connected once. So
that's not good.
a lot of Jet fans on my morning show were like, "Oh boy, is this?"
That's a concern. I mean, this guy needs to get the ball. I mean, just like Neighbors needs to get the ball for the Giants, Wilson needs to get the ball for the Jets. Period. You have to find a way to get that guy the ball.
If the Jets are going to do anything, we'll play that highlight clip after I answer this. That if the Jets are going to be anything this year, and there's wide ranging perspectives. Vegas has the Jets at 5.5. Devin, who will, I'm sure, call into the show one day when we open up the phone lines in the show, he says the minimum that he sees for this season is 12 wins for the Jets. That's where the floor starts for the Jets this season. So, different strokes for different folks, that's for sure. But, you asked me how am I feeling? I'm sure I'm going to feel even worse after this. But here's the highlight clip.
Wilson to throw, plenty of time. Deep ball, Bo Collins. Can he chase it down? He does! And Collins knocked down at the 1.
Hand it off. It's Singletary diving for the end zone, and he's in. Carter was in the face of Adrian Martinez, and he gets some pressure against the Giants defense.
Wilson, wide open, Jalen Hyatt. Jackson Dart now in the ball game. Gives it to Theo Johnson. Johnson with blockers and stumbles into Jet territory.
Trace Ford coming in, got his hands up. He was stunting up the middle and able to knock down that pass.
Dart. Dulcich, touchdown Giants. They hit the Jets on that in the joint practices, and they do it again.
Throws back over the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Giants. Second and goal, inches away. Dart's going to take it himself, and he's in. Jackson Dart with his first career rushing touchdown.
Going to air it out downfield. Henry makes the catch and reels it in.
He is in for the touchdown. Jameis Winston on the quarterback sneak. And the fireworks go off above MetLife Stadium.
Jameis got in the act and Dart got in the act. The one thing that is really interesting about the Giants this preseason is they have really 4 quarterbacks who are fairly interesting. I don't know that too many people find DeVito interesting anymore, but he certainly has an interesting backstory and that local connection. But all 3 of these guys, here's the interesting thing. I think they have 3 good quarterbacks. The problem is that they have one great one because that's what everyone wants is the great one. So, but when you play preseason, I'm used to seeing like the Tim Boyles of the world or somebody like that, taking most of the snaps. Like for the Giants, it's actually a lot of fun because you got the rookie who you're just dying to see what he can actually do at this point of his career. And then you got Jameis, who we know is just, the guy just airs it out. He has no fear.
He's a firecracker.
Yeah. Blast to watch. Like there's no boring quarterback play for the Giants because there's nobody that you don't completely and utterly care about. Like you care about all 3 of these guys in some weird way. So that's what makes it interesting, I think, for Giants fans.
Yeah, and I would even say all 4 guys, to be honest with you, because Russell Wilson is a very interesting personality, former Super Bowl champion. Jackson Dart is obvious, first-round pick. You traded up for. Everyone wants to see him. Jameis Winston, again, I described him as a firecracker. He is an unbelievable personality. It's always fun with him. And then Tommy DeVito, who, again, I don't know how it wears on Giant fans now, but this is a guy who had legitimate experience in games for the Giants, winning games like, and I keep going back to it, the Monday Night Football game against the Green Bay Packers where Tommy DeVito had to come back on a final drive. I mean, spectacular. So they have quarterbacks. They're going to have a big decision to make. I just heard over the weekend, Kevin Stefanski, they have their own quarterback thing with 4 quarterbacks, and he said it was unrealistic to keep them all. That doesn't speak for everyone in the league, but it speaks to the roster construction. You keep 4 quarterbacks, you have to take something else from another position. So I'm sure the other 31 NFL teams should be watching which Giants quarterback shakes free, either via trade or cut by final roster cutdown time.
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it has to be Tommy DeVito if they're going to cut anybody loose because in the end, Jameis, even on your roster, is worth something. I mean, he's clearly worth, a trade. He's, somebody's going to need somebody at some point, and the experience that he has just goes a lot longer, in my opinion, than Tommy DeVito does. As much as DeVito's a nice story, and maybe he's more of a quote third string quarterback to have on your roster, Jameis is worth something, and you just have to keep him for that reason and that reason only. And this is a good situation to be in, by the way, to have three potentially competent guys. Not too many teams have three competent guys. Most only have one, and maybe you got a second guy that you hope you don't have to put in there, but you feel like could kind of hold the fort, But all these guys are actually capable, it seems, on their own. We'll see what Jackson Dart can do. We're not even really tasted what he can do other than in preseason games. But, it just feels like they're all competent in their own way. So kind of cool.
And I know a couple of months ago, and you would know this, Lerch, obviously us were all over the radio show at the time, was the Giants are getting made fun of. What are they doing? Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, that's redundant. Oh, wow, now they drafted quarterback that had Tommy DeVito. What the hell are they doing out there? Yeah. We fast forward a bunch of months and a few cheap jokes. The Giants have multiple quarterbacks where some other teams don't have any quarterbacks. So I think that just goes to show you where they stand. I just want to highlight this comment because I think it's cool, and we're going to get more of these kind of comments. Let's go to Paul. Great name. Your parents did a wonderful job, Paul. Paul De Niro here. He says, getting used to the digital, but here I am, and then did another conversation here with the chat on YouTube. Longtime emailer from back in your old radio days. Looking forward to the digital content. Okay. And it's great to have you here, Paul, and great to have everyone here. Again, we're streaming live on the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital Facebook page, the Manchild Show Boy Green Digital YouTube page, and my YouTube page at BoyGreen25. So no matter where you're watching, show your support, like the video or hit subscribe or share it out on Facebook and get more people over. So Paul, I know for you, and there's many others that have had this chat with us since we've come over here, that it's different and it takes a little bit of time. But now that you're here, Paul, look, you get to see us, and I'm not sure if I should say apologies or not for that, but nonetheless, you're here. Enjoy it, baby. You get on-demand content. You can pause us and go mow the lawn, then come back. We're going to be right here. So I just love that part of it on YouTube, that we just have a chance to have our content under one roof. You guys can listen and watch everything. There's nothing you're going to miss. It's all kept here on the infinite waves of the internet.
Yes, the infinite ways, and that's it. It's all there, so you can go back and watch stuff. That's the cool thing, is that it's all on demand. Everything is just available to people. It's just a really amazing world. I'm finding this digital world fascinating. I know you've been operating in it, Paul, for 5 years.
Yeah.
Almost like secretly. I'm like, wow, look at how many, how this has come along, and the platforms that you can use. We use a terrific platform called StreamYard, and it's just fabulous. It's, you can see all these graphics around us, a lot of interactive things. Obviously, we have the comments board. We can take live calls. We'll be doing that in the near future as well. So very, very cool stuff that we can do here on our platform. So look, there's plenty more Snoopy Bowl to break down, Boy Green. I'm excited about doing that. I'm pumped up to do that. But we're going to break from sports just a little bit, kind of, because we have a fantasy draft coming up, our Champs League, which is an in-person draft. And we're going to be doing it at Smoky Bones in Liverpool. It's on Route 31. Some people would say Clay. I guess the official address is Liverpool, I think. We'll ask JJ that question. But joining us live from Smoky Bones is JJ, who's a catering specialist there. And she's, in my opinion, the best bartender in all of Central New York. We can have a conversation about that, but she's unbelievable. All right. From soup to nuts, there isn't anything that JJ can't do behind the bar. But she's also, cranking out meals for people all over the Central New York community, which is a really cool thing. And I think a lot of people don't even realize, that Smoky Bones has been doing this. So I want to tell you all about it. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, and then JJ from Smoky Bones joins us next. Stick around. It's the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. Considering that we sleep nearly 1/3 of our lives, buying the right mattress is essential. At Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofa Outlet, you'll get a unique experience, one that saves you 30 to 70% off retail prices on top-of-the-line mattresses like Sapphire Sleep. At Box Drop, you'll schedule a mattress fitting appointment and get one-on-one service directly with Paul, the owner. No middleman. Family-owned, huge savings, no-pressure sales designed to save you time and money. And now Box Drop Syracuse has sectional sofas and love seats as well, with prices designed to fit your budget. Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofas. Set up your appointment today at boxdropsyracuse.com. Did you see me getting some shut eye on that mattress?
I did that. Yeah, you look so peaceful. I'm glad they were able to capture that. A very touching moment. Yeah.
All right. Well, the show's about to get a lot better because joining us now from Smoky Bone, she's live there right now, is going to be the best looking person in our studio, and that is JJ, the bartender and the catering specialist. What's up, JJ? How are you?
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, JJ.
Marvelous.
I don't know if that's much of a compliment. I mean, when he says you're the most attractive of the group, I don't know where the bar was, but nonetheless, here we are. Yeah, there you go. Well, JJ, thanks for joining us, and thanks for you guys hosting our fantasy draft. We've been doing this every year for the last 7 or 8 years at live events, so this is pretty cool. Our first time ever at Smoky Bone. So first off, right off the top, thank you so much for hosting us.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it.
All right.
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Paul. Jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, JJ, is that something? Because I think what this conversation is going to unlock, I think, for a lot of people is, whoa, Smoky Bones we thought was this, but they could do this, 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 and this. And hopefully we can unlock that as we're going through our conversation. Is fantasy drafts and other events something that you guys typically do? And how does that process work if someone does want to host an event at Smoky Bones?
Absolutely. You can always contact us. We will try to be as accommodating as we can to fit any type of party in here for sure.
That's a great party atmosphere, Paul. Yeah. All right. Great party
lots
atmosphere.
Lots of TVs, lots of great drink specials. I have $3, $4, and $5 drink specials. We have 22-ounce Busch Lights for $2.99. So it's definitely a fun place. I have all day happy hour food and drink specials.
Wow.
Yeah, the specials are incredible. It's one of the many reasons why I go to Smoky Bones. The food is probably the greatest reason, and the service, of course, which is fantastic. Let's talk about some things that are new at Smoky Bones in the last 6 months to a year. I heard one of the things you guys did, JJ, is you went out to Taste of Syracuse. So tell us what that experience was like and how'd it go?
Yeah, it was great. This was our first year joining Taste of Syracuse. We did feature our smoked chicken wings, which are house smoked wings. We served them Bones Way, which is a Memphis dry rub with a sweet barbecue drizzle over the top. And now through football season, we are offering 6 bone-in chicken wings any way you want them for only $5.49.
You go, Boy Green. You can get in for less than $1 a wing, baby. And how many you have? Like an incredible amount of flavorings for your wings. Like I'm always like, what do I do today? So tell people how many do you have, and give people a kind of a buffet of the things that you have.
We have a ton of different flavors. And we also have a secret flavor menu. It's a QR code right on our menu that when you scan it, it unlocks a bunch of other different flavors that you can do. We also have partnered with Shinedown. So they came out with a signature sauce. It's a pineapple jerk sauce. It's absolutely delicious, a little bit on the spicy side. But right now, if you scan the QR code at our restaurant, you can have a chance to meet with them. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of different options. And even on Mondays, too, we do buy one, get one free orders of chicken wings all day, every day, Monday. So.
All right, Boy Green throwing up some of that food and what it looks like. Yeah, presentation is fantastic. One of the many things I go to Smoky Bones for are the ribs, and you can see a couple of racks of ribs right there. You guys have also varying sauces on the ribs. I love that original that you guys have, and you even have 2 different types of ribs.
Yep. We do the brown sugar glaze. We also do a Memphis dry rub on them. The original is probably my favorite, though. You can't go wrong with the original.
Yeah, it's nice and sweet. I like sweet on ribs. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, JJ. So Lerch off the top said you are, in his opinion, the greatest bartender that's ever graced planet Earth. So what is your special sauce? What makes you the greatest bartender of all time?
I don't know. I feel like my bar customers, they're also my friends. It's like I stay in the loop with everybody. I have people that come to see me every week. I bartend Mondays and Thursdays here at Smoky Bones at night. But during the week, we have different buy one, get one free specials. So each night of the week, you can come in and, whether it's buy one, get one on the wings. We even have brisket on Thursdays. Ooh. There's sirloin steaks on Tuesdays. We do ribs on Wednesdays or buy one, get one. Pulled pork as well. So there's a lot of different options that you can get here.
Yeah, Paul,
So
I do the BOGO steak dinner on Tuesday
oh,
nights.
baby.
So I come home from a long day of teaching. I pick up 2 steak dinners. I'm feeding my significant other for free, baby. I like that. I like it.
You know,
We
the
have
perks of
trivia.
it. Yeah. Oh,
We have
there you go.
trivia every Tuesday that starts at 6:30.
Okay, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
JJ, what's you've mentioned all these wonderful deals and things on the menu that will titillate our viewers and listeners, I'm sure. What's your favorite item on the menu?
Oh my gosh. That's hard. I do love the ribs as well, Jim.
Okay.
Smoked wings, I think, are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, the smoked are very good.
Yeah.
Go wrong with everything here is smoked in house. Even our sides are homemade, everything. So we really put a lot of time and love into our food.
So
Now,
a quick
go ahead.
follow-up. If someone's never heard of Smoky Bones, they're being introduced to it right now. They're like, Smoky Bones, what the hell is that? For people that are having this very first experience, it's for you, JJ. No pressure here.
Yeah.
Like, how would you describe the Smoky Bones experience to someone that's never been there before, and you're pitching them on trying it?
You know, the food is absolutely delicious here. I definitely recommend everybody gives it a try. But on top of that, we have TVs all over the place. We always have sports on, especially for the football games. We will turn the sound up. We have a pool table here. We have dartboards here. We do trivia. Like, it's just a fun place to go. I think the biggest thing is that we're open late. So during the week, we're actually open till midnight. And then on Friday and Saturday nights, we're open till 1 a.m.
Ooh.
So the kitchen does close a half hour before we close, but it's nice for people that work late. Also, with the airport being so close and the hotels nearby, we get a lot of people that are looking for food late at night, and there's not many options anymore.
Yeah, take it from the native New Yorker. Yeah, that pandemic knocked so many people out of late night anything.
No,
that,
it really did.
On Tuesday nights, I teach until late. Sometimes I'm coming home at 10 o'clock at night. I want some food. I'm starving,
Yeah,
and I'm like, where am I going to go? Boom, Smoky Bones right on the way. I'll get my BOGO steak or my BOGO wings or whatever the heck you guys are serving up on that given night.
And
So
not only that,
fabulous.
we have a great happy hour food special. So $6 and $7 items that are available all day, every day.
So look at that.
Walk
All
us
those
through some of
items
those
are-
items there on the
Yeah.
menu there,
Yeah,
JJ.
flip
We
it
have
around and
you.
walk us through.
Yeah,
People just saw it,
Okay.
but walk us through.
Yeah,
a
we
little
have you full screen there. So go ahead. Yeah, to walk us through it,
So
baby. Yeah.
what I think is the best is this $7 cheeseburger. It's a half-pound cheeseburger. Comes with lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, and American cheese.
bit. Ooh,
You can't go anywhere and get a $7 half-pound burger.
No,
They're
you can't.
delicious.
it'll fill you up, Paul. It'll
Yeah.
fill you up big time.
Yeah.
I love it. Wow, this is terrific. Well, I'm
You're
glad
starting to get
we're
that menu
partners.
for the 29th in your head, right? It's
I
starting to-
am.
You're
I'm
starting
gonna
to
be
figure,
honest.
like, what is
Yeah.
it that I'm going to get here?
See, here's the problem here, JJ. You've thrown a complete wrench into this. I've been trying to prepare for a fantasy draft, and now the draft board I'm putting together is my food order. Is
Yes.
on that Friday night for Pete's sake. So I don't
Yeah.
know what's happened here.
Stop
You
looking
can
at the
do both.
statistics of the players. Start looking at the menu.
Oh
That's a
wait,
good
sure,
idea.
look at this flavor. Ah, yeah,
Yes.
good deal.
One of the other things that Smokey's doing is you guys get out in the community. Talk to me about Dine to Donate.
So we have a Dine to Donate program where basically any type of organization or fundraiser, sports teams, local SPCAs, stuff like that, you can go right on our website and choose a date and a time. And it's a few hours during that day, but you can promote it to your friends and family. Basically, everybody comes in, they eat, you got to eat dinner anyway. And Smoky Bones will actually donate 20% of everything that's purchased back to the community or the organization.
Why is that so important to you guys, JJ?
So it is important for us to be involved in the community. Any type of event that we can participate in, we'd really like to get our name out there a little bit more. We are under new ownership, new management, so we're really trying to get a lot more people in here to try us, give us another try. Just with the Taste of Syracuse and all these other events that, we can participate in. If there are any events that anybody would like us to participate in, my email address is syracusemarketing@smokybones.com. So if anybody, has any ideas or things that we can participate in, we're totally on board to do anything.
JJ, you said there's new ownership at Smoky Bones. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are under new ownership right now. I am not 100% sure. I apologize. because it is so new. So that'll be maybe for another podcast.
No. The only reason I brought it up is I wasn't sure if they're watching the show. I was going to advocate for a massive raise for JJ.
Yes.
I
Oh,
mean,
thank you.
obviously,
Thank
you know,
you.
that's what I was trying to get. So no, if new ownership is watching, why wouldn't they be? For God's sakes, that's numero uno out of this, JJ. Huh?
It's just nice because I feel like corporate now, they have introduced so many new specials and like the happy hour menu, the drink specials. I think they're doing a really good job. So it's kind of our job here is to spread the word about it and get more people in, because especially in today's economy, you know, to have specials like this is a huge thing. So
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, I said at the top, and I meant that very, very sincerely. I'm not just throwing rose petals at your feet. You are a terrific bartender, and there is a terrific community at Smoky Bones. And it really just bleeds down from the staff right through to the customers, and then obviously the great food. It's just, it's a fun place to go to. There's a ton of activity, as you mentioned. One of the other things you didn't even mention is you guys got a jukebox too, so you can be a jukebox hero and play your own tunes, Paul. So we can get in there early on draft night, and you can play all your crazy stuff that you want to play that somehow, maybe Thunderstruck might be something,
sure,
maybe
that
you
might
want to
make it
get
on
into
there.
something, kind of preparing for the game day.
Okay, we have to
things of
ask
that
JJ
nature.
now. You set me up. You're setting me up for all these questions. JJ, you got 1 quarter. That's the old days of whatever.
What song you
Phone
gonna
tap,
play?
credit card. What's the song you're going to play at the jukebox?
oh my goodness, the song I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
Oh my
What
gosh.
revs your engine? Come on. Well, what is it?
I don't know. I like the old school stuff, like Summer of '69 is always
Oh,
Nice.
okay. There you go. That's
Bryan
good,
Adams.
cool. I
There's
like that.
some-
Sure. Yeah.
some Michael Jackson songs, Man in
Oh.
the Mirror. That's always a fun.
Nice.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. Great
Oh.
choices, JJ. All right.
Well,
Stock up.
my fantasy team name, we come up with these great fantasy team names for our fantasy leagues. Our league is very, very creative. You'll see a lot of guys coming in with actual shirts with their logos on it. Like that's how
crazy.
serious this crew is. And my fantasy name this year is Stairway to Evans. Okay, kind of a
I
play
love
on
it.
Stairway to Heaven, which is my favorite all-time song. And Evans is a reference to Mike Evans, who is a big-time receiver in the NFL. He plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we come up with all these clever names, and sometimes they're musically based, dare I say. So it's kind of fun.
That's great. That's great.
All right, so I'll hand it off to you one more time, JJ, for any other parting shots, anything else you want to tell people about Smoky Bones. Again, we will be out there live on the 29th of August in the evening. We're going to have a nice little spot kind of next to the bar where our fantasy draft will be taking place. People can come out and watch it, by the way, if you want, or you can just come into the restaurant and just enjoy the restaurant while we're there. That's all going on the 29th. JJ, last parting shot from you.
Yeah, I just want to say we do cater for all events. Our catering department is absolutely incredible here. We do sports teams, we do offices, doctors' offices. I just did my second wedding.
Nice.
So there's a lot of different options, but we do cater for all events. So, and our food travels so well.
Well, I think that's a good one because, again, JJ, I started off our conversation with this, that I think there's a lot of things that you find out like, oh, wow, you could do events for Smoky Bones. Oh, wow, catering. I think that's one thing for me personally even, and I've known about Smoky Bones. I did not know you guys cater, so I feel like that's a good sort of, hopefully spreading the word in that conversation because I imagine that's a really good business for you guys to do it. But if people don't know about it, they can't possibly order the business. So that's amazing.
For sure. And I feel like a lot of people say that, oh, I didn't know you guys catered. But honestly, I think that's one of the highlights of our restaurant. So, if you have an event coming up or if you need, an office, you have a party at the office or a meeting or something, I'm the one who actually personally puts the orders together and delivers them.
And
now,
one more time, JJ.
No,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Hold on one second, Paul.
Yeah.
I recently saw you, JJ, on another podcast. It's more of a food podcast, where obviously a sports-based podcast. And I saw you were making some fancy drinks. That's one thing we haven't touched on, the bartending end of things. We talked about the food, but one of the really cool things at Smoky Bones too are the drinks. And you make some really fancy drinks. I saw you making that smoked. Was it a smoked? What was
smoked old fashioned?
Yeah, an old fashioned. Yeah. Tell people about the specialty drinks that you guys offer too.
So yes, we do have a smoked old fashioned. That's the one that I did make on the podcast that I recently was on. But we actually just rolled out with a brand new drink menu. And I'm telling you, I don't know who in this company created the drink menu, but it is amazing. So some of the new drinks that we have are just so cool, and they're up with the times and everything, and we've gotten really good feedback from our new drink menu. So I urge people to come in and check it out and give it a try.
JJ,
well, they had a drink last year. They had a drink last year, Paul, that came in a fishbowl. And it was a drink that came in a fishbowl, and then you drank out of it. This is the kind of creativity that they come up with at Smoky Bones. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, no, I was just going to ask one more time, JJ, what is that email? You said you're the head honcho. You're the person to talk to as it pertains to all of this action in terms of the catering and everything else. So what is the email again?
Yep. So my email is syracusemarketing@smokybones.com.
Okay. Beautiful.
And if you do want to order catering as well, you can go to catering.smokybones.com.
There you go. That is the email, by the way, on the screen, syracusemarketing@smokybones.com. If you guys would like some more information, please make sure you guys take full advantage of that.
Thank you so much.
Right. We will see you in person on the 29th. There'll be a lot of hungry, thirsty fantasy drafters, all of whom are going down to one person alone. And that's this person right here. Okay. Because someone's got to finish in first, and it might as well be me.
Yes, we look forward to it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, JJ. All right. There's JJ from Smoky Bones hanging out with us and talk a little bit about what's going on with our fantasy draft, which again is coming up on the 29th of August. But they do events, as you heard her say, and they do catering. So you can, do all of that stuff. And again, if anybody needs that information, Paul threw it up on the screen. You can email JJ directly. There it is, syracusemarketing@smokybones.com. Awesome way to get in touch with them and to set up your next catering order or set up your next event. Yeah, the way the restaurant is partitioned, Paul, it's pretty cool. They have different sections where you can put parties. So, there's even a little bit of, dare I say, latitude in terms of, the size of your party and what you can fit in our areas. But the area that we're going to have, we only have 12 guys plus, all of our helpers and our interns that will be there that day.
Maybe 20.
We don't have a huge crowd, but we'll have plenty of space for our 12 plus crowd there. And again, if people want to come out and see the fantasy draft live, you're welcome to come to our draft and hang out at Smoky Bones. It's on the 29th. Draft will start at around 6-ish. Somewhere in that neighborhood. We're usually getting things set up a little before that. But you can certainly come out and chat with us, and we'll break in the middle of the draft as well to have some chow. So it'll be a lot of fun.
All right, awesome. Beautiful. And again, this will be the Smoky Bones right there in Liverpool. So it'll be beautiful. I can't wait for people to come stop by. That's going to be awesome.
All right, let me squeeze in another break, Paul. We'll come back after this quick commercial break, and we'll come back. We'll talk some more about the Snoopy Bowl and some other news and notes that we got in sports here as we continue our live show. It's the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital live here on YouTube, Facebook,
and YouTube again,
and Instagram and YouTube. So YouTube, and Facebook today. YouTube,
That's
YouTube,
it. Yeah.
Facebook. Okay. All right. We'll be right back right after this.
Integrity is a word that some people just throw around in life. But at Bayberry Automotive, integrity is everything. Integrity of their mechanics, who are all experienced and certified. Integrity in the work they perform, with nothing but 5-star reviews from satisfied customers on Google. Integrity that goes along with family. A family-run business that treats you like one of their own. Integrity in everything. Bayberry Automotive. BayberryAutomotive.com.
Located on Route 57 across from Bayberry Plaza, the premier choice for auto repair in Liverpool.
We are back. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like our videos, hit the thumbs up, and of course, subscribe at MC Show Digital on Facebook. That's where we're building up our subscriber base. Again, be one of the first 300, and we're closing in on that number. You get a chance to get the David Tyree autograph, the catch photo, framed and everything, sitting right here on the Manchild's wall that will go right into your man cave, your living room, wherever you want to put it. Maybe some of you Jet fans might want to burn it, but don't. We still beat the Patriots, for crying out loud. So don't 100%. Burn it. Don't burn it. That wouldn't be good. All right. But if you elect to use it for firewood, well, I guess I just have to let you do that. It will be yours one way or the other. Once we get to 300, somebody in that lucky 300 is going to get there. A couple of quick comments coming off that Smoky Bones interview with JJ. How about Badshaw saying old fashioned is my favorite? I'll tell you something about that old fashioned. And I saw her on another podcast. They actually she actually takes like this gun that's like shoots flames out of it. It almost looks like something you'd see a welder use. Right. Wow. And she fires it up. They put like some kind of wood chips or something in this old fashioned. And that's what and she also smokes the ice. So the ice is smoked and the drink is smoked in this smoked old fashioned. It was a very cool looking drink. So if you like old fashions, that is a tremendous drink. I've seen her make it at the restaurant. It's tremendous. So that's really, really cool. So anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. And thank the folks at Smoky Bones. We wanted to make sure before the fantasy draft, we gave them a nice plug and let people know we were going to be out there. We're super excited that they're hosting for us, and we want to make this event a big, big success. And maybe for years to come, we'll be at Smoky Bones. We'll say.
Yeah, I would just say this was my first time ever meeting JJ, and wow, what a bubbly personality. I could see why, that she's so revered in this community as one of the best bartenders on planet Earth. Which is pretty cool. So that's awesome. I can't wait. This is going to be a spectacular event. I say this all the time, Lerch, but every year, this is just this event that's circled on my calendar. Before it's 11 days away, which is crazy to think about. I need more prep. Got more stuff to do for that draft, but it's going to be spectacular. It's great to do these live event fantasy drafts, Lerch, and Smoky Bones is going to be a wonderful partner. And to your point, hopefully a partner for many years to come.
Yeah, man, the food's great there. I mean, people are going to love the food. Food is fantastic there. It does not disappoint. If you like barbecue, man, they pile it on, man. It's you'll go home with some in some kind of package probably. I don't think I ever get out of it and don't have something left over for the next day. So that's just the way they do it. They serve it up hearty and good. So if you're looking at a diet, Smoky Bones not the place to go. All right, but if you're looking at it to walk out the door full and satisfied, you definitely will do that at Smoky Bones. All right, let's talk a little bit again. Circle back to Jets Giants. Boyd Green. So level of concern, Justin Fields. I mean, obviously not a great performance from him, but the Jets didn't play him much in this game, so no chance for him to really redeem himself. I mean, sure, okay, you could say it was a bad start, but 1 of 5 at the start of a game, we see that happen all the time in the NFL, and guys respond and have a great fourth quarter. And you don't even remember they went 1 for 5. But level of concern, what is it that you're seeing that you like about Fields? What is it that you're seeing about Fields that you're a little bit concerned about?
Again, I'm going to quote myself because what kind of egomaniac wouldn't do that? Before training camp, I told the fans, guys, no matter, before we go through this door, whether good things happen or bad things happen, bring it all back to Goose Fraba. Let's calm down. Goose Fraba. Let's bring it all back to the base here because this is preseason. So whether it was the highlight of the Packers game and the Jets offense going right down the field, a 3-and-out on defense, an immediate touchdown offense, and we're all like, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Or this week, we're like, 80-yard bomb, Russell Wilson. Jets have to punt on the opening drive. Oh, this isn't what the doctor signed up for. I think ultimately here, that's where I feel about it. So to go back to the beginning, good and bad, the things I feel good about with Justin Fields is that he is unaffected by the dislocated toe. That was a big scare during training camp. Oh, geez, right. Is Justin Fields out for a significant period of time? Okay, it's this. Okay, it's that. The fact that he does not seem to be affected mobility wise. He seems to be able to move. That was a concern that even if the injury didn't cost him games, if it cost him his mobility, Justin Fields is a much different quarterback if you just wipe away his ability to run versus having that in his back pocket on top of his throwing ability. So that part is really encouraging to me. And then I guess the concerning thing, if you want to say anything, we started the show with this, is that Garrett Wilson did not have a catch in any of these preseason games so far. I'd be surprised if he plays in the preseason finale they play on Friday of this week, Jets-Eagles. So, Garrett, again, if the Jets want to reach any level of success in 2025, the person that's going to be in the dictionary next to the word success is Garrett Wilson specifically, and Justin Fields, obviously, but Garrett Wilson specifically. It is him catching footballs, getting the football, getting targeted. And the thing I keep saying to myself, Lerch, is it's preseason, and the Jets aren't showing anything on purpose. They want to cards for the Steelers. What does it make? They do some crazy Detroit Lions trick play, get a touch on the Giants. Well, that was cool. Then the Steelers like, okay, let's watch out for that play. I think the Jets are holding their cards very close to the vest, and we're going to see things during the regular season. So that's my message to Jet fans. If you want to worry on your own. But I would tell you, if it's up to me, I'm not concerned. They're saving things for the regular season. We see this week when against the Steelers, we'll have a very long conversation about it. Right now, I don't think so.
Yeah, one of the things coming into the season, and I don't know that it's been dispelled here in the preseason, but again, with such a small sample size and such a small look, is can Justin Fields, look through his progressions? Can he get from progression 1 to progression 2, even deeper than that, into 3 and 4, which the best quarterbacks in the NFL are able to do? Is there any less concern there for you? I know the sample size is incredibly small, so I don't know that I'm any less concerned about that than I was before the preseason started.
I will tell you this. So every Monday on my Boy Green Daily Morning Show at 8:00, I'm joined by beat reporter Nick Ferry, and he's been on my show for like 1,000 years. He's been on my show for a long time, and he gets to go to all these practices, goes to the games. He's a credentialed media member, and he told us very early in this process, as we were like a week or two into training camp, that Justin Fields appears to look like the exact same guy who was in Chicago and Pittsburgh. And he meant that to say that it doesn't look like he goes through his progressions. And there was all these other, things that he pointed to about Justin Fields' criticisms of him as a straight up passer and his ability to thrive in that environment. He doesn't. Now, that is to say that the Jets are just going to automatically have a terrible offense. But in terms of the progression things and holding the ball too long and some of those criticisms, those have maintained. Again, you can look at it through two prisms. The prism in which the guy who's at every practice can, and that's fair. The other prism I would say is, well, the Jets are running a new offense. Justin Fields is in a new place. He's got new wide receivers. There's all kinds of factors and variables to me that say why he would be holding on to the ball too long and things of that nature. Again, I repeat, once the season gets here, and obviously we will, this show is every day and will be going on during the season, we'll be able to have temperature checks on all of these varying conversations, because every week we talk Jets with Jake Asman, ESPN radio host and extraordinaire of everything Jets. He's a content creator too. He's going to lay it straight. He is a straight shooter when it comes to some of these issues. So no, I'm not concerned. I'm not worried yet. And specifically, even to your question about progressions, there's just not enough of a sample size yet to truly tell.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So let's do a little fun exercise here.
Okay,
you're the resident Jets guy. I'm the resident Giants guy.
Yeah.
Let's take both teams. Okay. And let's talk range of outcomes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So amount of wins, lowest that it could be, a poor season, things don't get better or get worse. All right. And ceiling. So what's the floor wins wise and what's the ceiling wins wise for each of these teams? We each get a swing at it on both teams. Okay. So you probably get the Giant thing from me, you get the Jet thing from him, but let's see how it maps out. All right. So let's do Giants first. Okay. So floor for you for the Giants. What's the floor for the Giants? What's the worst the Giants could have in terms of win total?
Okay. The worst case scenario is I have their schedule in front of me. I'm taking a peek at it. You're not going to like this, but the worst, case scenario, like, wow, this happened, is a 2-15 season.
Ooh, 2.
Maybe 3-14. Is worst case scenario. The schedule is awful. I'm very concerned about the Giants' offensive line, especially with Andrew Thomas's very uncertain future. I hear about Malik Neighbors in a back now. Oh, that's the hidden reason he's been out. We didn't hear anything about a back, and he's one of their best players. So that concerns me. The Andrew Thomas thing concerns me, and then the quarterback thing, because we've talked about this for months. What is the coaching staff with their butts on the hot seat versus what's best for the Giants right now versus what's best for the Giants in 3 years? That whole convoluted thing. I'm curious how that plays out quarterback wise. So I think there is a world where the Giants are right back at the top of the draft.
All right. So I'm going to go floor now. And I'm going to say to me, the floor is 4 wins. It's what it was last year, right? I think they won 4 last year. So I think the floor remains what they were last year, which is they could be a 4-win team again. I think that's the floor. All right, let's talk ceiling now. All right, so you're way down on the Giants on the floor. Your floor is all the way down at 2. Ooh, maybe cringing at 3. I don't think the floor is any worse than 4. What is the ceiling for the Giants?
By the way, just to clarify, the Giants were 3-14 last season.
3. We only had 3 last year. Thanks for correcting me on that.
I
try to forget these things,
I imagine so.
I think it's 4. I'm going with 4. So I'm taking one more win than last year.
Okay, so let's go positive. All right, let's flip the script. Let's go the other way and say, like, what is the best case scenario for the New York Giants if everything broke right for them? 8-9. You're winning some of these 50-50 toss-up games. Jackson Dart at some point arrives in the middle of the season, and the arrow's pointing up towards the offseason. Dable's like, look, Jackson Dart showed something. See, bring me back. I can keep pushing that cart up the hill. That's, to me, the best case scenario. I don't see playoffs. The division's impossible. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions. The Commanders just went to the NFC title game, and we can debate on where we feel about the Dallas Cowboys and their situation. Tell me whether or not Micah Parsons are playing or not. Maybe that'll change my perception of what the Cowboys are going to be, but I just feel like they're destined to finish last in the division, and I don't think that's much of a conversation.
Packers, by the way, apparently throwing their hat into the ring for Micah Parsons over the weekend, if you believe in all these rumors and speculation that are floating around. I still think he'll end up staying with the Cowboys, but this is ridiculous what's going on in Dallas. All right, so Boy Green's floor is 2. His ceiling is 8. Manchild's floor is 4. My ceiling is 10, Boy Green. Okay?
Wow.
If everything breaks right, I think it's possible. I mean, I'm not predicting it, but I think the ceiling for the Giants could be 10 wins. I know it's a brutal schedule, but if things really go well at the quarterback spot, maybe Jackson Dart, does get in there early than we think because he's progressing faster, and that defense plays up to its potential. That pass rush really gets going. It certainly has the capability of being damaging. Maybe the Giants could get to 10 wins. So my floor is 4. My ceiling is 10. All right. Your floor is 2. Your ceiling is 8. I'm not surprised. Again, the resident Giants fan, the resident Jets fan. Okay. All right, let's flip the script now.
Well, before we do, I just want to give a shout out here to Phil. He played the game and said floor 5, ceiling 10. So he's swimming with you. And he said, Manchild, I commented last week that I was cautiously optimistic, which you said was the right way to do it for the G-Men. Now I'm all in. NFC East champs 2025, baby. Huh?
Easy, Phil. Easy. All right. Okay. I'm not ready to go there yet.
Okay.
Where I might be willing to go is that the Giants could potentially finish with a better record than the Cowboys. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities.
Okay.
You talk about those Cowboys. We'll see. And hopefully the Jets could do some damage. They went down there in early October.
Week 5,
and help that cause for me a little bit. But
sure.
I'm not ready to make that statement, but I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge.
Okay.
This feels like there's chaos in Dallas. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know. Dak better have himself a pretty good season if the Cowboys are going to get back to that double-digit win thing, which they have the talent to be there.
Of course.
But will they? Is the chaos going to overcome the talent? All right. We saw that kind of happen last year. Is it going to happen again?
Yeah.
All right. So
Jets
let's
time.
go again. Floor for the Jets. Boy Green, I'll let you go first on floor for the Jets.
The floor for the Jets.
Be fair now. I know
of
you're
course.
so
That's what I'm all about. I'm all about fairness.
God.
For people who don't know, that's my middle name. It's Paul Fairness Esden Jr.
Things don't go right. What's the floor? How many wins did they have last year, by the way?
They had 5.
5. Okay.
I think the floor is 8 wins. And here's and wait a second. Wait a second.
Gosh, it's hardly a floor.
Now wait a second.
Go ahead. Explain yourself.
I think that if you look at Justin Fields and all the situations he's been in, barring some unusual circumstances in one of those seasons, the fact of the matter is Justin Fields is the quarterback where if we're having an honest conversation about it, see, it's upsetting my child in the other room, for Pete's sake, is they're so upset about it. Like,
it was the mere hearing of 8 is the floor that got her screaming.
Yeah, that might have done it too. Is that I just feel like Justin Fields is not bad enough of a quarterback to completely bottom out, but people question if he's good enough of a quarterback to win Super Bowls and divisions and all that.
Of course.
So, but as we've talked about, Lerch, the worst place you could be is purgatory, right? So if my floor is
the worst,
right,
it's the worst.
Let's say my floor is right. Let's say it's 8 wins, right? And they win 8 games. They're picking 15th. And then did Justin Fields do enough in an 8-win season that you feel good that he's a guy? I would imagine probably not. And then all of a sudden you're desperately searching for a quarterback, but you don't have the means to get that quarterback. So to be honest, the 8-win floor, James Woody, who you're going to meet at the tailgate too, that was his fear before the Jets even signed Justin Fields. He said, if they sign a guy like Justin Fields, and he said specifically Justin Fields, that the Jets are going to be stuck in that purgatory where Justin Fields shows you enough to sort of get you titillated, but not nearly enough where you're like, unquestionably, it's a franchise quarterback. So that's a little bit there. I think the floor is 8.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to go a little lower than that because things can go wrong in a season.
Sure.
But I still view them as a better team than the Giants, primarily because of schedule. Also, I just have a little faith that Glenn's going to get this thing turned a bit, at least in a positive direction. So I'm going to go 6 for my floor for the Jets. I don't think they're going to be worse than a 6-win team. You said they got 5 last year.
That's correct.
So they can definitely get to 6. That's my floor. All right, let's go ceiling for the Jets, Mr. Super Bowl. Forget about Super Bowl. We're just talking regular season record here, okay?
Well, it's important in this new world, Lerch. You know, my morning show, it's all Jets. But on this show, I need to be objective. And the only rational ceiling for the New York Jets is 17-0. Come on, baby. Yes. Come on, Lerch. Come on. It's obvious. You know, I don't know how you do it as a fan, and you can tell me in a second. When I'm a fan and I'm going on a week-to-week basis, week one, Jets Steelers, I convince myself, because I do all these shows now, that I have to do a lot of content. I talk to Steelers people and all this other stuff, and I convince myself on a week-to-week basis, oh, look, if the Jets do this, this, and this, they win. It's very simple. Just boom, 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 you win. And I do that every week. And so when we do these predictions, I'm like, the Jets can win any of these games. Of course they can. They could lose any of them, I suppose, but I convince myself that they can win any of them. How do you go into each Giants game on a game-to-game basis? Because, like, that's how I convince myself. If they do these keys, they can win the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think most fans kind of, have a general feeling of, hey, if these things went right, we can beat this team. We kind of do. But I don't know. Unlike you, I'm just a little more measured, a little more tempered. It's the journalist in me. I've been a journalist for 30 plus years. And, even in the talk world, you heard me say this for years and years, I still find myself being a journalist. I almost can't avoid that gene, whatever it is, that trait that's inside me that makes me look at things sometimes with a more skeptical eye. That says that doesn't quite seem right to me. I don't just take things at their word, whether it's a GM telling me something, it's a player telling me something. I mean, can we not count on we need a million hands to count how many times we heard a player say, in the preseason, I've improved. I did so much during the offseason. I'm going to be a better player this year. And then they go up and they stink the joint up. So, I mean, it's all relative. Who's saying it? What's the evidence? We had a coach at Syracuse a few years ago, Dino Babers. You remember good old Dino, all right? Sure. And Dino's, you're going to get the saying right because I always get it wrong. But Dino's thing was, right, was it what without evidence?
Belief without evidence.
Belief without evidence. So he comes into the Syracuse world and then charts out and then throws out one of his mottos, okay, is belief without evidence. So I need you basically to say, we're God, okay? For anybody out there that believes in God or believes in something greater than us, right? Okay, I'll use the word God. You use whatever it is that you use if you believe, okay?
Sure.
So, why do people, not to get too philosophical, why do people believe in, you have a belief in God. We haven't seen him, but maybe we feel his presence. I shouldn't even say
faith,
it's presence, okay? Yeah, it's faith, okay? And so what Dino Babers was just saying was basically like, have faith. I don't need to show you anything to have faith. You could just have faith.
You can just
was
believe.
Just like, dude, why? Like, you gotta show me something before I have faith. I mean, you got to give me some evidence to prove it. Now, interestingly, Fran Brown, who's the new Syracuse coach, who seems to be kind of really turning this program in a very, very good direction very, very quickly, he's the exact opposite. I forget what he said, but literally in his opening press conference, he said the exact opposite of Dino Babers. He said, like, I'm going to give you the evidence to believe, and it's all going to be evidence-based. I was like, yes! That's what I want to hear. Give me the evidence, and then I will be a believer. Don't ask me to believe when I have no evidence, to say that this is worth believing in. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, I think I need the evidence. I'm not you. You're a Dino guy, okay? I'm not a Dino guy, all right? The minute Dino said that, I was like, lost all credibility. You've lost my credibility, pal. Now, everything that you say is with a grain of salt. I can't believe anything that's coming out of your mouth anymore. You're going to have to prove to me everything, all right? Whereas I'm more willing to believe a guy who says, no, I'll show you. And then you're going to want to believe. And that's what Fran Brown does. And that's why I'm a bigger believer in Fran Brown than I ever was in Dino Babers.
Let's bring you back to your childhood. Mm-hmm. You're a young neophyte, okay? And you're like, oh, boy, this is what I want for Christmas. And what? If you didn't see Santa, you didn't believe in him? You needed to see Santa's fat, jolly tuchus come down that chimney before you're like, well, there's Christmas. Or did you believe? Did you have faith? Did you believe without the evidence of Santa that Santa existed? Huh, Lerch?
Paul, here's the problem. I'm no longer a child. Okay, I'm a
Oh,
fully functioning adult who
okay.
can be rational. I have all the tools are in here. Okay, some of them don't develop until you're like in your 20s. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm well past my 20s. All right, so I have all the tools inside here in between the ears to give me all the all the ebb and flow of anything that I'm looking at and give me things. So back to the Giants and back to how many wins, since I haven't even answered the question yet.
Yes, right.
I mean, the Jets, excuse me, and how many wins?
Ceiling.
What's their
Yeah.
ceiling? Okay, so no, it's not 17 wins.
Ah,
It's so I said the floor for the Jets is 6. I
correct.
would say the ceiling for the Jets. I mean, boy, would things have to go really well, but I'll go ceiling for the Jets 11 wins.
Ooh, okay.
11 for the Jets, and I'm falling somewhere between 4 and 10 for the Giants. Okay, that's my ceiling floor for both of
All
those.
right. There
So
you go.
take it with a grain of salt, folks. Which one you like better? The Jet fan, the Giant fan. We're probably in some way both skewed in some degree, although I consider myself, again, a journalist and try to be as impartial as I possibly can. That's a pretty widespread 4-10. That's a pretty widespread. And 6-11 is a pretty widespread as well. So, it is what it is. But just a way too early floor ceiling prediction. Let's see how it plays out, and we can come back to it later. So how come no? I mean, I'm a little surprised in the comments today that some of Jets Nation, which I know is living and breathing in some of these comments, not much on the Super Bowl, Snoopy Bowl. Where are all the
How
the
weird. I don't know. That's fun.
people at the end of last week were going to have Lerch for lunch. They're going to serve me up as some kind of roasted pig and spin me around on a spigot. Where's the abuse? I don't feel any abuse today. What's happening?
No. Yeah, shout out to Phil who says, "Can I
All right.
gloat now, Paul?"
Yeah, let's
Because
gloat, Phil.
last
That's
week
exactly
I said
right.
no.
Let's gloat on a glorious victory on 3 quarterbacks all looking great. All right,
Yeah.
on every offensive line, a relatively good job. This was a very good performance for a preseason game for a football team. I think the Giants accomplished a lot in terms of what they looked like, okay, as a football team. But again, I take it all with a grain of salt because I never put much stock in the preseason. But let's jump over. We talked about Fields a little bit. Let me ask you about Jackson Dart and ask the opposing view here, because again, maybe perhaps I'm going to be skewed because I want him to be the quarterback of the future. You've seen him for 2 games now. What do you like? What do you not like?
To me, he just has poise, and that's surprising for a young guy coming in. Especially, you look at his collegiate career, just what I expected to happen, the criticisms of him during the pre-draft process, seeing him, he just has I belong here, and it's sort of unspoken. He has a poise. He has a stature in the pocket. When there weren't passing lanes available, he said, all right, I'll take the green grass in front. So there was just some headiness there from Jackson Dart, A to B, accuracy, a willingness to throw the ball. I don't know, man. I was very impressed. Color me impressed. I think he's more ready than Giant fans. Again, I still go back to point number 1 I made, like whatever it was 3 or 4 months ago, that the Giants should be incredibly patient. No quarterback, let alone Giants quarterback. No quarterback's going to be like, oh, man, I got too much time to prepare or this or this. It's an innate thing. Only the Giants people inside that building should know when he's really going to be ready for this opportunity. Right. There is a playbook knowledge. There is a readiness of being a professional, because if you're the starting quarterback, you're supposed to be the leader of the team. And I don't know where he sits with all of that, but I would just say from the 2 games, because I saw him against the Bills, and then obviously I just saw him against the Jets, spectacular young man, and there should be a lot of optimism in Giants fandom, and obviously there is, that this guy is finally the guy. It is preseason, but boy, how can, even putting that the caveat that it's preseason, how can you not take a step back and go, wow, look at what this kid was able to do? Very impressive.
Yeah, I agree. And when I talked about him, even off of that first game, that was one of the words I used, as poise. He just seems settled in the pocket. He doesn't, even when there's, dare I say, some chaos going around him, bodies are falling near you, he continues to look down the field. There's that kind of presence that he doesn't seem to get flustered. He doesn't have what we call happy feet in the pocket. We see that sometimes with, players are just trying so hard to keep their feet active that they're not settling, just getting to the pocket, hitting that back foot, looking at your progressions, and then out, He seems to have a little of that.
And boy, I would just add this. He's just a different quarterback than Giants have had in the past. And we'll talk with Ed Valentine at some point this week about it. And I'm sure he'll mirror some of the same thoughts that when you talk about Jackson Dart here, he's got swag, man. You saw it when he scored the touchdown. If you look at the picture of him, and I'll throw it up here in a second because I think I have it available. Let's see if we have it here on Jackson Dart, is that he just sort of has this, I don't even know what to call this juice. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Him after scoring the touchdown against the Jets. Look at that bling around his neck.
Yep.
Like,
the bling.
There's personality here. There's juice. It's an easy ability to rally your teammates. And I think there's a certain pizzazz that is required for the quarterback position. And you look at Eli Manning, stoic. Emotionless, no highs, no lows, just rode the same pillar. Daniel Jones, emotionless. I don't know if he has any other facial expression outside of that's just it all the time. It's the same facial expression. Through a pick six, through a touchdown.
Drive me crazy about Jones.
So like there was just
no anything on his sleeve.
No emotional like depth of like, whoa, we're seeing it all over his face. He wasn't very expressive about it. So that's and then Kurt Warner, if you want to throw his flavor in before Eli Manning took over, that covers most of the 21st century here of Giants quarterback play. And the Giants just haven't had a quarterback like this that has juice, that has swag, that has this energy that is infectious to his teammates. So I think that's another part of it that's new and different. And quite frankly, it's perfectly constructed for New York. When you're delivering and you're bringing this energy, that's how you become a star in New York.
Now, I don't know if you can grab it real quick, but I'll throw a little bone to some of our Jets Nation out there on this comment. Johnny Boy throws up, is Abdul still mad at Stone Smart? There was a play, in case you haven't seen it, and Paul will see if we can get it here. I know we have that video, and then some comments that went on after. So here's the comments first. Why don't you walk us through this?
Yeah, so again, you guys will see the play in a second. I'll throw it up on our screen. But long story short, in the middle of the Jets-Giants game, Jets are on offense. They snap the ball, and Stone Smart, he is a former quarterback that turned to wide receiver, that turned to tight end. He's been bouncing around the league. He hasn't really done a whole lot. But he did a whole lot against Abdul Carter where he chip blocks him. What that means is normally it's a way to help out the offensive line. You're supposed to just block out or hit a pass rusher and then go out for your route. And he chip blocked, he being Stone Smart, chip blocked Abdul Carter and sent him crashing down to the canvas. And Abdul Carter attempts to get back up, and veteran
offensive lineman.
100%. Veteran offensive tackle Chukwuma Okorafor puts him back on his keister again and cleans up the block. Nice. And Abdul Carter, then it went viral, of course, on social media. And Abdul Carter responded after the game the next day with this quote saying, "Might be the only highlight of the Jets all season." And we put BTA, which means beat that ass in young millennial lingo, from what I've been told. He called it a weak ass chip block. And he ate that MFer like barbecue. I don't know what that means because he went on his keister and didn't seem to eat it very well at all. But, different strokes, different folks, I suppose, as it pertains to that. And like I said,
perhaps we'll invite him to Smoky Bones for some barbecue at our fantasy draft. He wants to come up and have some barbecue. But
yeah, right. That'll be very nice.
And this is the perfect example of social media getting to a player and a player reacting to something that probably didn't necessarily need a reaction.
Right.
All right. So go ahead, grab the play. We got to see the play if you haven't seen it already. It's all over the place.
Yeah, right. So, you'll get the play here of like, video. Oh boy. So yeah, here it is. Here is the play. So we're going to take off the screenshot there, and here's the play.
Okay. I saw a body flying out of there.
Yep. They got chipped by the tight end.
Boom.
Stone Smart.
And boom.
Stoned him.
Double decker. The old double decker twice on the keister.
I saw a body flying out of there.
Oh my God.
They got.
Yeah, and I would just, again, Stone Smart, because I think this is important to note. Abdul Carter, 3rd overall pick, Giants pass rusher, best defensive player of the draft, and Stone Smart, some random football player. And I think the reason that it's worth mentioning is everyone has welcome to the NFL moments. And that's the realization. If I'm Abdul Carter and I'm sitting on the ground in the middle of MetLife Stadium for a second as I just got shoved to the ground going, whoa, the NFL is different. This backup tight end with the Jets just sent me on my keister, and I think I'm hot blank. And you go out there in that moment, you'll go, oh, wow. And hopefully that's a humbling experience in a good way for Abdul. It didn't seem to affect him in a humbling way based on social media activity. Yeah. But that I got to go to work. Man, the NFL, people are bigger, faster, stronger than they were. I'm not bullying people the same way I was in college. And I think Abdul Carter is going to be a wonderful player. I really do. That That happens to the best of them, and it certainly happened to him that game. So he does still seem upset, Johnny Boy, to answer your question. He still seems very upset.
Yeah.
But the Jets and Giants don't play again this year, so I guess we'll have to save that debate for a different day.
Yeah, you can get that big man as mad as you want, man. The madder he is, I'm sure the better he's going to play. But, that play is a perfect example of leverage and how, technique matters so much in football. We see these line coaches all the time talking about leverage, trying to get their players to angle their bodies the right way. And you got a big guy, some would say almost an immovable object, in a guy like Abdul Carter with all that athleticism. But if he's leaning one way and you hit him, up and under, kind of get up under his pad like Smart did there, you can get him to the ground, just knock him right to his keister, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, and one other word we didn't use to describe Jackson Dart, so I just want to bring it up again. Here is a picture of Jackson Dart after scoring the touchdown against the Giants. Old Yank sends us in. He very comfortable, and I would agree. That's the word right there, comfortable. And that is not normal because people are uncomfortable. Oh, my God, there's 70,000 people here. I'm in my first NFL home game for the Giants. It's my first home game of preseason. Look at all the pressure. Holy crap, there's this Jets defense flying all over the place. Wait, what was the playbook? Wait, what are my teammates'
you don't have the
names?
plays in your head.
I mean, oh, my God. It is so hard to play in the NFL. And then you factor in all this other extracurricular activity that happens. So comfortable, that's the bingo word that I didn't say the first time, but I would say now comfortable, and that should be encouraging for Giant fans.
Yeah, I do think it's encouraging. Again, I know everybody wants to rush guys out there. I am going to be the exact opposite this whole season. No, thank you. Just let him marinate. Patrick Mahomes marinated for nearly an entire season. I mean, what game did they put him in there? Like
final game of the season.
It was the very end. Okay,
end.
Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he could, by the time it's all said and done, he's going to probably, if it continues the way it's gone so far, he's going to be a top 5 all-time quarterback. Okay. Could he maybe by the end of this make an argue for number 1 and number 2? All right. He sat an entire season until the final game they put him in there. Jackson Dart can wait. Giant fans, listen to me. Jackson Dart, read my lips, can wait. Wait. That's
patience is a virtue.
I understand. We want to win now. We want to win more games. We want to be at the top of the draft. Yeah. Nobody does. Okay. We can wait. I don't want this guy playing until he has full control of the playbook, until he's ready to be out there, until they have secured that front, that line in front of him, and those guys understand their roles, can protect him, keep him upright, not have him taking unnecessary hits. That's what I want for Jackson Dart. This is like, put him in bubble wrap. Okay. That's the way I'm going to handle it. I know other fans are not going to agree with it. They're going to be like, oh, Wilson stinks. Something's going to go bad. Going to lose to somebody bad early in the season. And everybody's going to be up in arms. And I'm going to be the one, okay, raising my hand in the back. Excuse me. No. That's what we have the other 2 veterans for. Let them take the brunt of this if indeed it goes in the wrong direction. But the problem, and you mentioned it earlier, Boy Green, is we got a coach and a GM who inevitably a lot of people believe are on the hot seat. And so at what point do they push the panic button if indeed we get to that point where the panic button might get pushed? That's my biggest scare for Jackson Dart, is that he's in this situation with Dable and Shane where things don't go well for the Giants and their schedule says it might not. Okay. Then they push the panic button and they rush him. And then he doesn't become the quarterback potentially that he could be, or he takes unnecessary hits, or maybe he gets hurt, and we don't need any of that nonsense. Okay. I agree. I love what I see so far. Let's just keep cultivating it. All right. Let's keep it in bubble wrap. Okay. Let's Jabba Chamberlain here a little bit. Okay. Let's put in some Jabba rules. That's what we need. Dart rules. We need some dart. I know the kid wants to get out there. Who doesn't?
Sure.
It's pro football. Come on, man. But you got to protect players from themselves sometimes. And you got to make sure as an organization you take care of your players. If Kansas City can sit a whole season, of Mahomes, and not play him until the last game of the season, the Giants can do the same thing.
Agree.
Just do it. Just do it and don't even think about it. And Dable gets after the preseason game, right out of shoot. Reporters on there. So is Jackson Dart moving up the depth chart? Is he number 2 now? I mean, the questions are coming. It's just
of course.
RELAX. I never quote Aaron Rodgers, but I just did.
There you go.
Just relax. Okay. Whew. All right, how about some other news and notes from football, Boy Green? What else happened over the weekend? Cam Ward got out there.
Yes.
Did you see any of it? I didn't get a chance to catch any of the Cam Ward.
But oh my goodness, here's the problem. So Lerch, I don't know if you know this, but teams that pick number 1 overall normally suck. There's a reason they had the number one overall pick,
Correct.
when that sort of thing is happening. So that means the talent around you isn't really good. Maybe the coaching staff isn't really good.
Mhm.
And what we saw from Cam Ward so far in this entire preseason, let alone just this game that just happened where he begged to get back in for another drive. There was a cute moment on the sideline. I was like, wait, one more drive, coach. Because, of course, they all want to play. I would say that, like, some of the talent around Cam Ward on this Tennessee offense makes me go, oh, boy, that it may not be ready. Like Cam Ward has had throughout the entire preseason a couple of throws that are wow right in the bucket, and then the receiver drops it. So Van Jefferson, I'll give him a shout out. The son of Jets wide receiver coach Sean Jefferson, Van Jefferson's in the league, and he dropped a couple of throws, and you're like, man, you got to help him out, and that's never going to show up in the box score. But I think Cam Ward, again, we kept saying, which is sort of weird. It's like an oxymoron. We keep saying that Cam Ward is so unheralded, but we're the ones who keep trying to bring him up to give him the love as a number one overall pick. But Cam Ward looked really good. And Lerch, we'll get into this later this week, but the Buffalo Bills got smacked by the Chicago Bears. What was it, 38-0? I mean, good night. I know, again, we keep saying.
No Allen. He's not playing.
Sure.
But I don't think Cook played, right? Even though he's back
I would
now.
assume not. Right.
And
I'll pull that up in a second.
I'm pretty sure he didn't.
No, yeah.
I caught a little of the beginning of it, and I was like, ooh, this is getting out of hand. Okay, I got other things to do.
Yeah, he did not play. And I'm not surprised. Why would he have played? Like I said, he just got the contract. He's not playing to the regular season anyway. And I know we say preseason, but the Bills.
You still got to be concerned for your defense when you're giving up that kind of points, even in the preseason. I mean, even if your second and third stringers are the primaries, you still want them stopping people, for crying out loud.
Yeah, look at these numbers from their quarterbacks. They went 25. This is the Chicago Bears quarterbacks versus the Bills defense. They went 25 of 39, 357 yards, 9.5 yards per clip, 2 touchdowns. They were only sacked once and had 112 QBR. They annihilated and destroyed the Bills defense. So as a Jets fan, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else happen in preseason over the weekend that's of note? I don't know.
Let me see. Let me just go around.
Big news that was popping onto my radar. Of course, I was very honed in on the Snoopy Bowl, watching every down of that thing.
Naturally.
Right to the bitter end.
So that's what I would say. Quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel made his debut over the weekend.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw a good bunch of the Dylan Gabriel highlights and a piece of that game.
Yeah, the pick was awful. The pick six he threw was absolutely terrible.
He had the interesting comments, which, according to him, were misconstrued, and he's apparently said this before. So there might be some truth to that, in all honesty. Usually I don't get by the player, but he made some comments about, I'm about competition and not about showtime, kind of.
Yeah, right. Like he said, I'm a competitor, not an entertainer. And then a lot of people immediately went, are you suggesting that Shedeur Sanders is an entertainer? Because that's a very easy line to draw. Like, that's what he's talking about. And he tried to hit a quick back pedal. Whoa. That's not what I meant. But, that's how it was perceived. And sometimes perception.
I don't know if that's how he meant it, to be honest with you. Now in hindsight, having heard his explanation, again, it makes sense to me. This is, again, my journalism antenna, right? Immediately I would have been like, are you kidding me? He was talking about Shedeur. But then he explains it, and he says, go back and look. I have used that terminology, and if he has in the past, then there's no reason not to believe that he was not talking about Shedeur Sanders. He was just talking about himself and how, and he actually said his explanation was entertainers are the media. So he turned it on the media and said it was the media that are the entertainers, that you guys are out there entertaining people with your words, with your blogs, with your your comments on social media, that you're out there, entertaining. I'm here competing. There's a very big difference between the two of us. So he said it was media he was talking about, not Shedeur. And I am actually kind of buying those comments.
Yeah, the last thing I will say is this, and it's just NFL related, is Trey Hendrickson. According to NFL Network reports, the Bengals are seriously listening to offers. 3 teams have emerged. They're very weird teams. The Browns, the Colts, and the Panthers are apparently the 3 teams. The Colts make the most sense of the 3 as a team that's trying to make a seismic move, also with a front office head coach GM combination that could be fired. So obviously there's heat on them to make a move. I don't think the Bengals would ever trade him inside the division. So Browns, get the hell out of here. There's no way they're trading him inside the division. And the Panthers are a very interesting team too for a guy that's 30 and he's a win now player. And Panthers, I don't view as a win now team, but that's sort of interesting. So anywho, a trade could happen. And apparently the report came in the middle of this show. Let me see if I have it in here, that the Bengals have already rejected a trade. Yes. So here it is. There was a trade offer to the Cincinnati Bengals for a second-round pick and a player, and the Bengals already rejected that trade because they want a young defensive player and a first-round pick. So we will see what happens there with that. I want a golden toilet to sit on and $1 billion. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but that's on my wish list to happen here. But yeah, it looks like they just can't get past his contract impasse, which is fine. But man, there's going to be a contender, Lerch, that gets souped up. Is it Buffalo? Is it Detroit? Is it New England? Just made some very interesting comments about, we have no worries about giving up a top pick for a player if it helps us. That seems to be a cough. Are they going to make an aggressive move like a Trey Hendrickson? So I don't know who the team's going to be, but someone's about to get a really good player that has more sacks than any defensive player in football over the last 2 years with 35 sacks. So good luck to whoever that team is.
And there's a couple of players standing out in camps that I keep hearing their names over and over again, Paul, not only from camp talk, but also from preseason talk. Omari and Hampton, who's playing for the Chargers this year, and some believe could ascend to their number one spot in terms of that running back room. We'll see if that happens, but he certainly is going to get some work. And Travion Henderson, who plays in your division, the AFC East, boy, he is getting a ton of buzz in terms of what he can do. So give me your thoughts on those two guys.
Yeah, Marion Hampton is a first-round draft choice out of North Carolina, a wonderful back that some people thought the gap between him and Ashton Genty wasn't nearly as big as it appeared to be with draft stock of one guy going top 10 and the other guy going in the 20s. But his stock sort of seemed limited because the Chargers before the draft signed Najee Harris to this big deal. So and not big deal like it was crazy money like he's highest paid running back in football, just that they signed him to a significant deal. And whoa, how does that work? Najee Harris, just like your boy Jason Pierre-Paul gets in a fireworks incident around July 4th. So he's mysteriously, we don't know his status. Yeah. I think Omarion Hampton's going to take the job from him no matter what. It's going to be somewhat of a committee that's Harbaugh's DNA. But Hampton, I'm really excited about. We got to see draft stock, depending on the fantasy draft you may be in. His stock is wildly different. I've seen him go 3rd or 4th round. I've seen him go 6th or 7th round. So it really just depends on what league you're in. So he's interesting. And then Travion Henderson, it's sort of an interesting thing in a very similar way. New England has Ramondre Stevenson, who's this tried and true veteran. He's been there. Now, Najee Harris is new. He had not been with the Chargers previously, but he's a proven name. Ramondre Stevenson's another proven name, but he's had his own fair share of issues. I believe he led the league in fumbles last year with 7 fumbles. That, I imagine, won't fly with Mike Vrabel, but is it only a matter of time? Tick-tock till Travion Henderson steals the job away from Ramondre Stevenson full-time. Hey, in the preseason, he had a kick return. Travion Henderson had a kick return for a touchdown, took it all the way to the house for a kickoff return score. So, he's another player that's seriously making some noise.
Yeah, no doubt. Fun players, and definitely got the interest of a lot of fantasy owners out there as drafts continue to roll on. We are really getting into the hot part of draft season now, with a lot of drafts happening between now and opening day. Again, we won't have our big draft until the 29th. But we've got our other league drafts all
this weekend and next weekend. Yeah, the next 2 weekends. Yep.
So yeah, look out, man. Drafts are happening right now.
Yeah,
fun.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Fun. All right. Well, look, as you know, I am going to be traveling to New York City for the next 5-6 days. I have to go down for a wedding. My niece is getting married, and
congratulations.
On top of that, I'm going to go visit the fam and spend some time with some of my old buddies in New York City. But in our wonderful virtual world, that means nothing other than you just aren't going to see my normal backdrop behind me.
Right.
That'll be the only thing that changes. We've got Jake Asman coming tomorrow. We will drop that tomorrow afternoon for you. So we'll be talking with him about all things Jets, see what he takes out of this preseason game and what the Jets need to do moving forward. Ed Valentine is back on the beam this week to take us inside Giants camp, give us the latest on that injury to Malik Neighbors, his evaluation of Jackson Dart. We'll get into all of that. Anthony Prohaska later in the week. We're going to talk to Anthony on Thursday. All right. We will do all things Bills and get the latest and the greatest on the Bills, including that blowout that they just had. My goodness. See what Anthony thinks about all of that. And then we got our usual live on Friday with Joe Bartle, our fantasy insider. So if you're looking again for that last minute fantasy draft intel, again, maybe your draft is this weekend, like a couple of our drafts are, then you want to get your questions in and join us live on Friday, 10:30. We do that with Joe Bartle of RotoWire. We have him for about a half hour. So you want to get in there right at 10:30 and get your question on the board so that we can answer it and get Joe to answer it and give you some good fantasy advice. Is really, really good. I think it kind of doping things out and giving you some good ideas for your fantasy draft. So definitely worth it to get a couple of questions on the board with Joe. So that's kind of a setup of our week. Am I missing anything else, Boy Green?
No, that's it. And starting not this week, but the week after is we're going to be doing some Syracuse football content, which I'm excited about.
Yep.
We should be speaking with the voice of the Tennessee Volunteers as
Nice.
Syracuse starts in neutral territory in Atlanta for a massive game to start their season. That should set the tone. So we'll be speaking with the voice of Tennessee next week, and we'll get a behind enemy lines on a week-to-week basis. So give a little tickle to our local listeners, but also hopefully, as we saw before the show, I don't know if I could still highlight this comment, but yes, here it is. This is from Mahar Khalil. He mentioned this before the show even started. Good morning, everyone. Just caught the morning show. Can't wait to hear what's next. The cool thing that sort of evolved here is I have Boy Green Daily every day at 7:30, but there's all kinds of other content coming on this channel and at the MC Show digital channel. And you guys are sort of saying, sweet, a new show on my favorite show, if that sort of makes sense. And so we're going to have a lot of content cranking out, so it'll be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys are open to some of that Syracuse content coming in. But long story short, the consistent theme, Lerch, is football, and more football.
Yeah, that's going to be good. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Yeah, Syracuse, you talk about the Giants schedule, Syracuse football. Holy crow. They have a tough schedule. They're going to Notre Dame. They opened the season with Tennessee. They're traveling to Clemson. It just goes on and on and on. They're definitely in the deep end of the pool this season. Fran Brown, as good a job as he has done and getting them to 10 wins last year, he has really got his work cut out for him this season. If he gets them to double-digit wins this season, well, bravo. That's all I could say. I mean, the whole country should be talking about him if he gets this year's Syracuse squad with a new quarterback in the fold. Okay, he loses his veteran Kyle McCord, as we know, is in the NFL. He's got a new quarterback. He lost a lot of key players, including some big-time defensive players. And he is filling up the cupboard very, very quickly. But are some of these younger guys and even some of these transfers that he's been able to get through the portal going to be able to get the job done for Syracuse? We're going to find out soon enough. But, man, do they have a tough schedule. Unbelievable schedule from Syracuse. I think even the Phil Steeles of the world have ranked Syracuse in the top 5 in terms of a difficult schedule. I think I've seen them as high as the second hardest schedule in all of college football. That is not a place you want to be going into a season with a new quarterback in the fold. Yikes.
Right. And apparently a quarterback competition. More on that, I'm sure to come.
That's
but I would just say this. You Syracuse, this is sort of like, while it's scary to hear those numbers, you want the spotlight. Well, you have it. Now let's see what you can do with it and see if you can surprise, see if you can make some noise, change expectations for yourself in this community. So it should be scary, but anything worth a damn in your life should be scary as you attempt to sort of make that leap. And just real quick, as we're wrapping up here, I'll throw
you know what? And Philly Noodles brought up something really good, I do want to get. I wanted to ask you about this. So I'm glad he reminded me of it because I have to admit, watching 2 preseason games, and again, we're seeing a very limited, little scope. This is small sample size, and you can't let your mind go, crazy on small sample size. But I have to admit, my level of concern for Breece Hall is climbing every time I see him on the field with the Jets. Am I justified? Go ahead. You can mention Philly Noodles' comment here.
This is the tough thing about doing 1,000 shows every day leading into our fantasy football drafts, that my feelings on players I can't continue to hide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. Breece Hall is not very high on my fantasy draft board. Now,
not on mine either.
The $1 million man, everybody's got a prize. Cue my laughter. Ha, 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 ha. And they do. So I will never completely rule anyone off my board because we get to a certain point in the draft, anyone can be had for me.
Yep.
But in this particular point, thank you for the super chat. This is another raffle ticket for the contest, Philly Noodles, so appreciate it. Overreacting, Braylon over Breece. We will see if that inevitably happens. Pro Football Focus a month ago predicted this will eventually occur.
Yeah.
Well, Braylon Allen, who has 3 years left of rookie team control, takes over for Breece Hall, only has 1 year left on his deal, and that happens at some point in the middle of the season and sets up for the next several years of him being the guy. Braylon's an impressive individual. NFL insider Matt Lombardo joined me on the Sunday show, and we did a short about it, about how he believes Braylon is coming for Breece's job. Breece just has not looked the same. It's preseason, so take that for what you will. But Braylon can run the ball. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He made a comment during training camp saying, if the coaches asked me to play linebacker, I'd strap up right now. Like, he's a coach's dream.
Football,
yeah. So to me, I think Breece Hall is the starting running back right now, but how much longer does that last? It's a good question, Philly. It's a good question.
Yeah, it is. It's very concerning. One of the things I do like, and we saw this in the joint practices, and we got reports from both sides from our insiders about the joint practices, is the fact that the Jets are lining Breece Hall up in the slot, lining him up outside, getting him in receiving positions, rather than just strictly looking at him as a behind the quarterback running back, line up in the backfield kind of guy. That could be good news for Breece Hall. I do think the Jets are going to split this load a little bit more, and I think they're going to try and take some of the heavier, the pounding part of the load off of Breece Hall. But I just hope he can get back that burst, because when I saw him, was it 2-3 years ago, before the injuries really started to pile up? Right, he's been in the league. Is this his fourth year in the league? I'm guessing.
Let's see. So he was in 2022, 3-4. He's in his fourth year.
He's in his fourth year. That's what I thought. When we saw him in year one, I mean, I was like, the Jets have a running back for the next 6-7 years. Like, this guy's, oh my God, he's fantastic. What a burst. He's got moves. He just looked great. And it's just how quickly. And this is not a guy that's old.
He's 23, 24.
When a guy gets to 28, 29, 30, in the running back world, okay. Now you see some, with a lot of guys, maybe not Derrick Henry, but with a lot of guys, some slowdown.
Breece is 24. He just turned 24 a couple months ago.
He's young. So this is, have these injuries truly taken their toll on him? Is he going to ever make it back to what he was in year one? I'm starting to have my doubts. I'm very concerned about Breece Hall and his longevity in the NFL, and whether or not he's going to get back to what we all saw. And we're like, whoa, does that pass the look test? Suddenly he's not passing the look test. He's looking like a guy who's 30, and he's not.
Yeah.
Said only 24. Yikes.
Yeah, I'll share my training camp observations here when I was at Jets-Giants joint practice camp. Two things here stood out, and you also saw it in the preseason game. The pony package, and for those who don't know what that means, using Breece Hall and Braylon Allen on the field at the same time. Justin Fields shotgun set to his left, Braylon Allen to his right, Breece Hall. You can run all kinds of fun RPO where you try to do gut check inside, see what the defense, how they react to it. Either let the Breece Hall keep it, or you bring it out and run speed op on the other side of Braylon. There's just so much optionality there, which I love. And like I said, at the joint practice, the Jets ran this offensive set where it's an empty set. That means no one else in the backfield with Justin Fields shotgun. 4 wide receivers out, and there's a 5th quote-unquote wide receiver, but it was Breece Hall, and he was the furthest most out wide receiver on the left. The 4 wide receivers ran verts. Breece Hall ran a one-step slant underneath and cut against the grain on the defense. Justin Fields hit him in stride, and it was a 45-yard gain or something. And they're utilizing him straight up as a wide receiver. So there may still be a world for fantasy football owners. In our league, it's full-point PPR. Now, you have to factor that into, the process here of how you value that, of how much of a backfield split is this going to be with Braylon. But you know what? There are plenty of utilizations here where Breece Hall can get a lot of action, but how much action and how long does he remain the guy, which I believe he starts the season as the guy, that remains to be seen. Yeah,
it may not be a long time. And, is he like, dare I say, I'll make a comparison. They're very different players, but is he Jaylen Warren? Is that what he's going to be as a fantasy player, somewhere in that realm, of, primarily a pass catcher, but also can mix it up a little bit. Like, is that going to be his role, or is he going to be able to hold on to number one? I'm not sure.
A souped up comp I would give is Brian Westbrook. I would love to see Brian Westbrook level stuff. And for people who forgot about Brian, runs the football, catches the football to the backfield, a little bit of a do-it-all man for the Philadelphia Eagles back in the day. Breece Hall, if you could be Brian Westbrook, I think that's sort of the comp at the NFL level.
It's just amazing to me in this game of football how sometimes you think you got something. And you look at it for a year, and that first year, I looked at Breece Hall, I was like, wow, they got something. And now I'm like, what happened? I thought they had something. We're moving on to something else. They already have something here. And now that something that shiny object is getting dull very fast. And now we're looking at the next guy. We're like, hey, Braylon Allen, he's great. Oh, Braylon Allen, we just had a guy. We had the guy. The guy, he's going to be the next 7 years. Did I say that? And now we're looking at his understudy and saying, "Oh, he's taking over. This guy's washed. They better move him out in the slot. Figure out other ways
Lerch.
to get him in."
Here's a quick trivia question.
Thanks.
Who is everyone's favorite player on a football team, Lerch?
Backup quarterback. I've said it forever.
Yeah. That's it. It's the grass is greener on the other side.
Yep.
We're always tantalized by what we don't know. We see the quarterback like, yeah, he's nice. But what about the backup? It's the Family Guy skit I bring up all the time with Joe Bartle, right? True. They're sitting in the office and the guy goes, "Okay, folks, you have two options." So like, yeah, what is it? Griffins? Well, you can have this brand new boat or the mystery box. And then, Lois Griffin's about to stand up. "Yeah, we'll take the boat." And then Peter goes, "Whoa, sure, we can have the boat. But what about the box? Anything could be in the box. A boat could be in the box." And she says, "Well, let's just take the boat. We'll take the box." And then there's nothing in the box. But the intrigue of the mystery of what it could be, fans, that happens to us every year.
All right, one last one on fantasy, because fantasy we're getting into this really, really exciting time for fantasy. So Philly Noodles will give you one more shot here. Genty, number 1 overall pick in fantasy? BG style, huh? You do have the number 1 overall pick. You said a couple of shows ago, "I've made my decision. I'm there." So is Ashton Genty in the cards?
He is in the cards. And he's firmly in the conversation. Sometimes you got to be bold. And I would give this advice to any fantasy football people out there, right? So I'm picking first overall. We're in a 12-team league. I'm not picking again until 24. You want to know what that means? If I don't pick Ashton at 1, I'm not getting him at 24.
No, you're not.
So that's the sort of – now, if you make that sort of bold move, Ashton Genty better be the number 1 running back by far, or you made a terrible pick regardless of what he does, because that's the kind of tone-setting pick you're making of it happening. So we'll see who I pick. Who knows? It's up in the universe. People have been making predictions and texting me. They think they know based on certain comments I've made or this or that. But if that's true, then why doesn't everyone come to
Billy thinks you're going Chase. He's already got you down for Chase.
There you go. I've received several texts from people saying, "I know who you're picking," and they've given me 5 players. If all of you are on 5 different players, then maybe my transparent strategy isn't that transparent if all of you guys are guessing different people. So I guess we'll see what happens on draft night.
And we're redraft league, Jack.
All of our leagues are, by the way.
All of our leagues
we have 4 leagues. They're all redraft. 100%. I respect keeper leagues, and it's cool to hear from Joe Bartle every week to hear about guillotine leagues and dynasty leagues and these and it sounds auction leagues. That sounds all cool. And eventually, maybe I'll dip my toe in some of those other waters. But yeah, we do redraft for our 4 and for the 2 Boy Green leagues. We're going to be reviewing those draft orders later tonight for members only on the channel. A members only video. We'll be reviewing the draft order. The 2 co-hosts, because I'll do 2 separate shows, one with Badshaw and one with Hop on Pop. We're going to be reviewing those, and we'll find out. Those are also redraft leagues. I don't know. I just really enjoy it. There's a commitment. There's a draft. There's a season. You're with everybody. I don't know. That's always held a special place in my heart.
All right. Fair enough. All right. That'll put a nice, neat bow on this one today. Again, lots of good content dropping. We'll be live again on Wednesday at 11. I'll be in New York City. Jake Asman coming your way tomorrow. Brunch with Bud coming your way tomorrow at 11 in his usual spot. Jake will come around 2 in the afternoon. We'll have that out to you by then so you can get your Jets fix. All right. Ed Valentine joining us later in the week. So is Anthony Prohaska on the bill. So we'll go, of course, around all the New York teams as we do every single week. So look forward to all that and look forward to seeing you all back on Wednesday live. Thanks for everybody for participating. We'll catch you soon. Don't forget, like and subscribe at MC Show Digital. If you're not already a subscriber, get in there. Be one of the first 300. That David Tyree photo, signed, framed, sitting on my walls, going out the door, hopefully sooner rather than later. We're seeing our subscription numbers come up. So pass it along to your friends, your family, let everybody know that we're a cool spot to be. And hopefully we can get those subscriber numbers up so that we can get this photo out of here. And then I have other gifts to give away, other gifts, other cool, fun things. All right. So all coming your way, courtesy of at MC Show Digital or the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Take care.